The party's jumping, yeah, and the vibe feels so strong. Throw your hands in the air, lift your head up high. You know you've got to sing along, don't you know?
Made it out of disbelief. Candles flying up, no fear, just greed. I done waited weeks on weeks for the bull run, coming bears, dodge the streams. Try to get them on my team, moon boys too busy buying XRP. No face, no KYC, VPN locked in, out of state IP. Patreon made something out of nothing, ain't got a MetaMask, need to go and quit stunting. C phrase, only code to the fortune, better play a card, tell them Reddit boys chumping. Black swan, red swan, it's nothing, setting limit orders, getting out before the flood hit. Retail got me knowing when the fun is, made a bank run just to get my bags pumping. Real life, not talking dumb money, I bet the game stop when the market starts pumping. I've been here since the rain, since the flooding, FOMO kicking in, heard the habits like something. Low caps got me living like Archie, fly to Dubai, first class, off flights please. 5x, 10x, unlikely, 100 on my mind, no telling where it might lead. Crypto, it's been on the rise, couple million off of me, no it's not that time. Crazy how they still deny, last time I seen this was 2009. Oh well, it catch you by surprise, getting out before they sell, all a part of the ride. With my advice, you'll do just fine, do your own research in the fade when I rhyme.
How is everyone doing? Welcome back to another live stream on the channel. It's been a few days since I did a live stream, but it's good to be back. And a lot has happened in the markets. We keep going up. I think the stock market has had like 8 consecutive days up or something crazy like that. And crypto is basically the same. And obviously the gains you get in crypto are even better. So the market's been doing great. Hope everyone's been having a good time while the market's been pumping. But always stay level-headed, right? Don't start raising your targets drastically just because we've been going up. But it's great to see. You know, we're making great gains in the VIP group right now. We were buying virtuals all the way down at 54 cents. Okay, one bulk buy, just one purchase. Didn't go too heavy into it, right? Because it is 2025. You don't want to be deploying like there's no tomorrow. That was last year you were doing that, or maybe even the year before. But nevertheless, we made some great gains on that purchase, and you can see virtuals right now. I mean, it's going for $2, guys. I mean, we got in around 50 cents. It's going for $2. It's going to be a 4x in just a few weeks. Where else can you do that other than crypto, right? Other than altcoins. So I gave the call down there, really, really low down in the 50s. Now we're going for $2 and we're up 3 to 4x already just after a few weeks. I mean, it was literally last month I put the buy alert out and already we're sky high, we're rocketing. And if you look at the chart, if you zoom out, there's still a bit of a way to go just to all-time highs. So things are looking great on the virtuals front. I will also share with you my top altcoins. I'll give you some X targets, give you some ranges. Obviously, when we're giving X targets for a coin, we have to give kind of the bear case and the bull case and just go somewhere in the middle for the base case. But I'll be doing that today. I'll be sharing with you my top coins and my top and the amount of X's they can do. By July, I think we're going to get a really nice pump by July, and there's going to be a great opportunity to be taking some profits. If you look at Bitcoin, it's climbing up right now. It's at 96.1. It could be at 100K tomorrow, guys. On this rate of pump. I mean, at this rate, we could be at 100K tomorrow, maybe the day after, maybe even today, right? It's looking like it's a really, really good pump. Now, obviously, the next major hurdle will be 100K. There could be a good amount of resistance there. It's not like we're going to pass it instantly. Maybe, there's a bit of chop around 100K. But once we get above that, it's all-time high time, right? So market's looking good, on track for a very bullish May, in my opinion. And I want to, first of all, discuss this topic of May because I'm seeing loads of people say, sell in May, go away, blah, blah, blah. But just go and look at the history. Okay, just go and look at the historical evidence. We're going to pull it up here. Let me just pull up the Bitcoin chart by each month. Bitcoin historical performance. Man, I had this up earlier by month. Let's see if it's this one. Okay, monthly returns. Here we are. So I want everyone to pay attention to this because it's very important. Despite this selling may go away narrative permeating crypto like there's no tomorrow. I mean, it's all I've heard for the past 3 months is selling may go away. Just look at the evidence, okay? Last year's May was green. Then we had 3 bearish Mays. But then 2020, we were up 9%. 2019, we're up 52%. 2017, 52% up. 2016, 18% up. 2014, 39% up. May isn't even the most bearish month for Bitcoin. So if you're going to have this whole sell in May go away argument, May has to be the most bearish month for you to give me that argument with any true substance, right? You have to. But May isn't even the most bearish month. So we haven't really got like a clear historical evidence of this with Bitcoin. Maybe in the stock market, maybe with TradFi, but with Bitcoin, it's a much more complex thing. It's not as obvious, okay? If you're really going to say a month to sell in, it's probably September, right? When you look at it, September has been red 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months in a row. 6 out of the last 8 Septembers have been red. You can't say that about May. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of the last 7 Mays have been green. Okay, even December looks worse than May. So what happens in crypto, these types of narratives, these types of rhymes and sayings and riddles, they go around and everyone just believes them, but you have to actually go and look at it, right? You actually need to check it. And to me, there's not a great deal of evidence to say that May is always bearish and you should even sell in May. Okay, so that's my stance on the whole sell in May go away thing before people start asking, because I'm sure people will. But that's my stance. Anyway, we're going to get into the comments. These are my top altcoins right now. I'm sure you've seen this list already if you watch the channel regular, but these are my top altcoins currently. And I've just put in here the X potential next to them, okay? Could we go higher than this? Yes. Could we go lower than this? Yes, okay? It's crypto at the end of the day. I'm putting SUI down as a 3 to 7x. Could it go and just do a 2x, 2.5x? Yes. Could it surprise us and go and do a 10x? Yes. It's about ranges. You've got to narrow it down at some point. Now, my whole thesis for taking profits largely derives from Bitcoin itself, rather than stressing too much on these individual altcoins, which at the end of the day are high risk, high speculation forms of oscillators to Bitcoin, right? And I agree with Benjamin Cowan, who says that. It's a very, very true statement. So altcoins are basically just leveraged bets on Bitcoin, risk on bets. And at the end of the day, they could do anything. They could do a 3x, they could do a 10x, they could do a 15x, but you got to give a range. So I've given these ranges. Now, to some YouTubers, this is very conservative, right? To some YouTubers, they're going to say, you're such a bear, you're so conservative, you're so bearish. No, I'm a realist, okay? I'm operating based on realistic targets, based on a bigger picture. I look at the macro, I look at the technical analysis, I look at the individual altcoins themselves, I look at Bitcoin's trajectory, I look at everything. Some other YouTubers, they just like the sound of 100x and they'll tell you that's what a coin's going to do, okay? And when you hear those types of predictions with a serious face, you probably don't want to listen to those guys, okay? Now, I have used 100x and 50x in thumbnails and things like that in the past, but it's a thumbnail. right? Some people have a hard time understanding that a thumbnail, the purpose of a thumbnail is to get clicks. You actually need to listen to the content of the video. So these are my targets. There's going to be great money on these coins. But if you're looking for more than that, if you're looking for more than a 5x or a 10x, you probably want to be looking elsewhere than the top 6 right now. Okay, you probably want to be looking at the likes of, you know, virtuals, maybe Aerodrome. I wouldn't buy virtuals now. The time to buy obviously was when the VIPs got in. If you buy when the VIPs got in, you're probably making a 20x on virtuals realistically. Okay, 50 cents. It just needs to go to $10 for you to hit a 20x on virtuals. So if you're buying when the VIPs are buying, you're going to be making way more than these targets, but these targets are from today. And what a lot of people don't realize is altcoins have gone up a lot from their bottoms a few weeks ago. We were having a VIP call earlier, as we always do, pretty much every day. We have voice chats. And we were making some price predictions on Render. And I was looking at Render, and, you know, it's been a very quiet coin lately. It's been a sleeper, but it's actually up almost a 2x from its low that it put in a few weeks ago. So maybe Render was a 15x down there, but now it's only a 7x because it's done a 2x, right? Maybe it was a 10x down there, and now it's a 5x. That's what I'm trying to say. So you can't maintain the same price target as we go up. If a coin does a 2x from its bottom, you ought to halve your price prediction if you want to be congruent, right? If you want to be coherent. Otherwise, you're obviously flip-flopping. And that's okay. I flip-flop in crypto as well. Hands up, I do it. It's fine to flip-flop, right? Crypto changes every single day. So if you're changing your adjustments, you're making price target adjustments and things like that, it's only normal. But my point stands, right? A lot of coins, believe it or not, they're double from where they were in their lows last month. So you need to factor that into your price targets. Maybe a month ago, a lot of these coins could have done a 15x or a 20x, but now you're looking more maybe at a 7 to 10x on a lot of them. That's just the reality in my view anyway. I'm sure you can listen to another YouTuber out there. They'll tell you 100x on all of these. They'll tell you you'll be a multi-millionaire in a month. Fine, go and listen to them if it makes you feel happy. But if you're not all about feeling happy and you're interested in realism, reality, and making money, then yeah, maybe you should listen to this channel. But you should also listen to yourself, right? Don't just listen to one YouTuber. Think about your own opinion as well. There's plenty of people in my group who disagree with me. Okay, we have discussions every single day in the voice chat. He thinks 200k Bitcoin. I think 120k Bitcoin. We have a debate. We have a discussion, right? It's okay to have your own view, but make sure it's based in actual logic and not just because some random guy said it and it sounds good. Or it makes you feel good. Zach says, Euro continues to look strong. I'll keep buying under $1. Yeah, it looks very good. I'm personally pretty much done buying Aerodrome. Pretty much done buying, but yeah, there's no harm in buying it now. There's no harm in buying it now. I mean, it's only just broken out, right, from this massive support block. So if you're buying it now, you're still kind of early. When you zoom out, you're still early. But yeah, guys, you should definitely get in on that VIP membership because they're printing right now. Like I said, we don't even need to buy coins that are that risky. You can buy coins that have some form of quality and still make a really, really quick 3 to 4x. Buy the coin, you know, just put 5k in, just for an example. I'm not saying you should do that. 5k in, wait 3 weeks, your 5k is now 18k. Right? People work for months to make that much money. You just make it in a few weeks, just sat there, follow the buy alert, twiddle your thumbs, you know, sit on a deck chair, and you turn your 5k into 18k in a few weeks, right? So that's the group. Those are the types of gains we make. We also have a very, very active Discord server. So if you are a fellow VIP member, come and say hi in the VIP chat, and I'll give you a shout out on the stream. We got a lot of new people joining, people going for the lifetime option since it's still pretty cheap. So if you're a VIP member, you'll see yourself on the screen by saying hi. Is it a buy time, or should I be cautious for the phrase sell in May and go away? We've already discussed this. Go to the beginning of the stream. I discussed the sell in May, go away trap. And it is a trap because, 70% of the time it doesn't play out in crypto. Doesn't mean May won't be red, okay? It could be red. I mean, crypto is crypto, right? We look really, really good right now, but who knows what's going to happen next week. But to me, selling May is more likely than not going to play out. I think it's going to be a green May. I think it's going to be good. But the time to buy was when Bitcoin was in the 70s and 80s. You can top up here and there if you want. There's certain altcoins still right now that, they're looking attractive as buys, say. It's looking like an attractive buy even at these prices because it's still really, really low. Casper, still really, really low. Looking like an attractive buy. But some of the coins I bought, man, they've just gone up so much. It's not wise to be buying loads of SUI at this price. Sure, could it go and do another 3 to 7x? It could, but you're buying way higher than what other people were, right? And you'll essentially be other people's exit liquidity. I don't want you guys to be the exit liquidity, really, okay? Now, at the same time, SUI's at $3, right? It was at 5 or 6 just a few months ago. So there's still legs. It's just it's not going to be the type of coin that's going to make you... it's not going to retire you if you're buying now, right? If you were buying back when I was at 60 cents, or 70 cents rather, and your average is $1, then yeah, it could definitely retire you if you went in bulk. But buying now, you're going to be looking at a few X's maybe. But there's much better options out there. Like Peak is still really cheap. If you just come into crypto, you want a nice 5 to 10x, you just want safe, stable gains, then buy these coins here, right? This is what I have like 95% of my portfolio in. But if you're coming into crypto and you're thinking, right, I got some money, I want to gamble it, I don't care if I lose it, then you want to be looking at more of these coins, right? And Beam has been going up as well. I mean, all the recent buy alerts have been doing pretty well, outperforming the market, respectively. So I know people in the comments, they're going to say, of course your coins are going up. Everything's going up. That's not the point. The point is they are drastically outperforming the overall market. My last few buy alerts, most of them are up 20 to 40% today. Okay. The overall market is maybe up just a couple percent today, few percent. But yeah, Beam is creeping up now, 21% up on the day. We were stacking this one a few weeks ago. Virtuals, wow. 45% up on the day. And I bought it basically at the low. If you don't believe me, that's the buy alert. You turn 5 or 6K into almost 20K in a few weeks. But look, even if you're coming to crypto now, I'm not going to tell you you're early because you're not. That would be lying to you. But there's still money to be made, guys. If there wasn't going to be money to be made, I would just sell everything. Of course, there's opportunity. Bitcoin isn't even at all-time highs yet. So this move is going to be probably quite impulsive for altcoins, I'd imagine. Good day. How's it going, Jay? How's it going, man? I'm not doing any coin reviews today. If you want coin reviews, come over to the VIP and I'll review your coin in depth in a live stream. We'll go over it, look at the fundamentals. Little correction in the short term. We still need to fill that gap at 92. Yeah, I think we get a correction, but I think we probably head for 100 first. Just because we've got above 94 now, we're probably going to 100 or 99, something like that. And then we go down to 91, 92. And Disha. Just move my camera up because I'm being covered by this comment. Archie, love being in the VIP group. I've learned so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. What's your ideal price target for Sui this round? Thanks again. Yeah, so on the next leg up, I think Sui has a few X's left in the tank for sure. It's the clear winner of this cycle. But obviously, we've got to be realistic on this channel. You know, I just can't do what some other YouTubers do when they tell you, oh, 100x, you know, just so that you buy and pump their bags, right? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be realistic about it. So I think Sui could definitely go to this 7.61 level, easily go to that. I think it could. Again, I think it's likely it could go above $10. I think it could go to $11. It can go to a 50 billion market cap. I stand by that. 50 billion, it could definitely go to. So you're looking at about 5x. So what would that be? 3.67 times 5. Below a $20 Sui. I don't think it will go above 20. It definitely could. Definitely could go above 20, but I don't think it will. I think you want to be fully out probably before $20. And I would start heavily taking profits around $7 personally because I got in below $1. So if I was buying at 76 cents and it goes to $7, I'm up 9.2x, okay? Just for example, 100K is 920K. You basically made $1 million from 100K. So I would be selling quite a good bag of Sui at $9.20. It's all about exiting out, DCAing out. Just the way a lot of people DCA in, you want to DCA out, right? Especially by looking at the charts. You don't just want to do it randomly. And that's kind of the problem with DCAing, is it's just random, right? When I say DCA out, I don't mean sell now, right? I mean sell based on actual TA. So when you see, really overbought prices, when you see us maybe coming to some resistance on the fib extension levels, and since you're a VIP, obviously you'll see all of this in the group. I'll be dropping, TA updates. Cryptex will be putting out updates. My personal technical analyst, and I'll obviously be dropping sell alerts as well. There was a guy who joined the group just the other day, and he joined the voice chat, and he was like, "Wait, you do sell alerts? You tell people when to sell?" I was like, "Yeah, I tell people when I sell. You can sell when you want to." But he was shocked. He was shocked that I do sell alerts. I don't think he's seen it elsewhere, right? He was in another group and they just did buy alerts, not sell alerts. But I think you got to do both, right? If you're running a group. So it's more genuine if you do buy and sell alerts. DJ Tracid. Hey, Archie, just upgraded to yearly VIP yesterday. Congrats, man. Great to have you on the yearly. Regular member. It's always good to have the active members on the yearly. Looking forward to that. And are you considering getting back into any meme coins? I'm considering it, but that doesn't mean I'm going to do it, right? I think as long as there's still opportunity with the mid caps, you should prioritize them over memes. There's still opportunity with the mid caps, okay? you buy the memes when all of the mid caps are really, really high. That's when you buy the memes. When there's no other good opportunities in the market other than buying crap coins. When there's good quality mid caps still on discounts, I would prioritize those. So for the time being, I would be prioritizing purchasing something like Aerodrome, something like Beam, something like Say, Ondo, Render, Tau, Casper. I would be prioritizing those coins that haven't pumped yet, as opposed to memes. Now, when those coins pump and there's no longer good discounts available in the mid caps, then I'd be looking at maybe some meme coins. But there's great opportunities with quality, so I'm not gonna skip those. I'm gonna take advantage of those. So that's my current stance. Hopefully that makes sense. But I've got nothing against memes. I made a lot of money on memes this cycle. I've lost some money on memes as well. Overall, I made great money, but yeah, there's some good memes out there. I just think it's better to focus on the utility at this point because they're still on discounts. Once they're all sky high, then yeah, by all means, you can get into the memes. But what's actually quite interesting is if you look at last cycle, there was a fair few memes which just didn't get back to their highs in the second run. So Dogecoin, for example, that topped out prematurely. Dogecoin topped out in May. It then attempted another high when everything else was in November, but it couldn't even get close. It was lower than half of its all-time high during Bitcoin's all-time high. And what's very important is to delineate this so that everyone understands, okay? Last bull run, a bunch of altcoins topped out in the first half of the bull run. And then another bunch topped out in the second half of the bull run. The two halves were April 2021 and November 2021. This time, it looks like it could be January 2025 as the first run, first top, and then maybe summer 2025 as a second top. We don't know exactly when it will be, but that's kind of how I think it could be. So there's going to be a great deal of altcoins which did actually top out in January. And I think a lot of those will be the memes. A lot of the memes would have topped in January. Not all of them. I'm sure it's not your meme coin that you love. But a lot of them probably topped out in January, right? Now, some I think will just keep on running. Like Fartcoin, that thing's just going to keep on ripping. But some of them definitely have put in a high and they'll never come back, right? Doge topped out in May 2021. It didn't come back on the second run. A lot of the meme market, it topped out premature last cycle. Topped out in the first run. Same thing could happen again. And a lot of people will go, oh, you shouldn't compare to last cycle. This time's different. You should compare to last cycle because there have been a lot of similarities. Of course, there's been differences, but there's also been similarities. So you should absolutely compare to previous cycles. It's a great way of adding context and backing up your arguments. Yeah, Say is starting to move a little bit. It's not pumping anywhere near as much as some of the other buy alerts I gave, like Arrow and Virtuals, but it is starting to wake up. Robbie, how's it going? Good morning, Archie. What do you think of Manta? It's okay, but very, very risky. I prefer the other coins listed in this list. Problem with Manta is it was so difficult just to like buy and sell it using all the freaking Pacific and this layer and that layer. You need that for gas fees. It's just complex, man. Layer 2s on Ethereum, they're just complex. I don't like it. I like base and that's it. Like all the other ones are just a headache. Is Beam still a good buy? I'd say so. Obviously, it's not as good as when I was buying a few weeks ago, but it's still good. Yeah, Virtuals has done a nice 2 to 3x for us. Actually, it's a 3 to 4x for us. But yeah, in the last week, it's a 2 to 3x. But we're almost up 4x on Virtuals now. That's crazy. You know, even if you just put in like $2,000, obviously I know this in my head. I don't know why I'm working it out, but if you just put in like 2,000, you've almost got 8K now. I think it's like a 3.8x, is it? So if you just put 2K in, you got like 7.6 now. That's more than most people's monthly incomes. You know, you've just made like sitting on your chair doing nothing, just following a buy alert. So definitely get yourselves on the membership if you like those types of gains. I mean, you just pay off the membership in like a couple weeks for lifetime, right? You just buy a coin, you hold it, and you paid off lifetime in like a couple weeks. Or more. Lifetime and bundle together. Yeah, the X's are from the current prices today, guys. These X's are from the current prices today. For me, it's a lot more than this because I'm already up almost 4x on Sui. I'm already up more than 2x on Casper. I'm already up almost 2x on Tau. Ondo, I'm just kind of break even. Say, I'm in a very slight loss, right? So most of them I'm already up like 2x. I like your contents because of that being realistic. Yeah, I appreciate that. A lot of people, you know, they gravitate to the channel because of the more realistic targets. Obviously, all over YouTube, you do hear these 1,000x, 10 trillion x targets. And how often have they been right? Never. Thoughts on Corpo? I got a little tiny bag, but it's, you know, it's not nothing special, but I got a little bag. I think it'll do all right. Don't mind, buddy. I love your contents, but a small advice to you. You sometimes sound a bit harsh. I'm not sure if you mean it. Love you. I appreciate the comment, man. I don't know. I sound harsh? You mean when I react to people's comments or just when I speak in general? I've had this before. I've had a couple guys tell me, "You're so negative. You're always mean." I don't know, man. It's just how I am, you know. I'll probably never change, man. But elaborate on what you mean. I don't fully know what you mean. You mean I sound harsh when I react to comments or just when I speak in general? Because I don't mean to be harsh if I'm reading comments. You say that one way of existing is existing? You mean exiting, right? One way of exiting is Fibonacci levels. Do you measure it from all-time high or local high? It depends. You can do both depending on what type of levels you're trying to get. If you're trying to get like macro fib levels or more micro levels. So let's use Sui as an example. If I was looking at Sui on the fibs, I would do it from this all-time high to this recent low. That's where I would do the fibs. But I don't know why it's like, wait, what? Let me get rid of that. So you can see here, from this high to this low, that will give you extension levels above our current price. So the 2.618 usually gets hit on altcoins. So I would say like Sui has a very good chance of hitting $11 this bull run. Obviously, nothing's a guarantee, but I'd say it has a very, very solid chance. Casper to $10. Oh, man. I love Casper and all, but come on, bro. Let's stay grounded. Too many people in crypto, they got their head in the sky, man. They got their head in the clouds. Cuckoo land. But we need that, right? We need that because if everyone thinks a coin's going to 100x, they're just going to keep buying and buying and buying, and then we can sell. So, that might sound brutal, but that's the true reality of crypto. If everyone thinks Bitcoin's going to $1 million this bull run, it's gonna be great for me, right? Because I can sell before then. You got a huge amount of exit liquidity. That's the same with anything. That's the same in the stock market. It's the same in the commodities market. Someone selling is essentially wrecking someone else, if you think about it. You're selling to someone else who thinks it will keep going up, who thinks they're getting a good offer so they can sell higher. But eventually someone buys the top, right? And they get screwed. And there's going to be a lot of top buyers in the market. A lot of exit liquidity. People are poorly steered and not thinking with their heads. They're thinking with what they want. They're thinking with feelings and emotion. I want to be a millionaire, therefore I need a 50x because the market owes me a 50x. They think about the market as if it's like some genie that just gives you what you want. Since when has that been what the market's been like? The market's out to wreck you. It's not some genie that just gives you what you want. They think it's like a magic lamp. You just rub it and it'll give you whatever you want. Oh, I want a 50x. Okay, there you go, 50x. That's how they think the market is. Archie, I love your Discord group. Recently joined Lifetime VIP, very active Discord. Appreciate that. Yeah, man, we got a lot of comments there in the VIP. Archie, I joined to see the sell alerts. Yeah, 100%, bro. Sell alerts are very important. Appreciate that. What does honorable mean? Honorable means that they are not in my top 6 coins, but they are honorable mentions to that list. They're very close. They're very good. They're just not good enough to hit that leaderboard ranking, right? First time viewer here. I agree. Great content. Appreciate that, MP. Appreciate you being a first time viewer. Could you show the use of the fib retracement for taking profits? I think I just showed it, right? You go on TradingView, you come to the sidebar, you go on fib retracement, and then you go from the high to the low, and then it gives you these levels, okay? The 1.618 would be like your first take profit level. Then the 2.618, you could sell a bit more. Okay, if it gets there. And then the 3.618, and then that's just how you do it, right? It doesn't tell you exactly where it's going to go. Obviously, it just tells you levels to look for, levels to sell. What you just said is a perfect example of what I think they mean. Raw, unvarnished, honest reality. I love it. Some people find it a little confronting and want softer delivery. Yeah, man, I appreciate that. Yeah, there's plenty of channels out there that will give you a soft delivery and, cuddle you and put the blanket around you and all of that. Go watch those if it makes you feel better. But that's not my tone. That's not how I am in general. So, that's just not how I am. So I'm not going to change. But yeah, if you feel better, watching a channel that'll tell you you'll 100x your money and you'll be a millionaire next week, by all means, just watch that all day and believe it if you want, right? But I'm not here to do that. Curve DAO, I think it will do okay. It's just like, DeFi projects from last cycle. They're not getting a ton of hype. And yeah, like for me, DeFi is a good narrative. Like it's one of the main reasons why crypto has use cases, because you can basically do decentralized banking, right? Without a middleman, without trusting the bank. So I like it. It's just a case of like, is it the best altcoin to put your money in this cycle, right? Or is it one of the best? And I would say it's probably not one of the best, but it's one which you can have. It's on my radar. I've got a watch list of about 80 coins. It's on that watch list. So it's up there, but I'm just much more of a fan of something like Say as opposed to Curve. I just think it's got better pumpermentals. Yeah, I see sub 50k Bitcoin. I do. We discussed this a lot as well in the VIP. Bitcoin usually bottoms out just below the 786 fib level. Just below. It's done that in 2017. It did that in the bear market after 2017. It did, or it did that in the 2021 bear market after the 2021 bull market. Sorry. Why am I calling it a 2021 bear market? So 2021 was a bull market. Then we had the bear market. Okay. The point in which we found a bottom was at just below the 786. I think the 786 came in around 17k, was it? There we go. Yeah. The 786 came in at 17k. The bottom was just below. So last cycle, I was thinking 17k could have been the bottom, right? I was thinking a big range of like 17 to 10k. I didn't know exactly, but I started basically buying Bitcoin at 17k. That's when I was buying, and my average on Bitcoin is 15.9. That's my average buy. So how did I know that? Well, you can see it by the fibs. And the same thing happened, by the way, the bull run previous, or the bear market previous. If you put the fibs on from this low to this high, it would have given you around, I think, 4k or something as the low, and 3k was the low. Very, very close. You're never going to be exact, but it can be very, very close. Now, if we do it from this cycle, okay, 15k, let's say the top is at 120. It all depends where the top is. The top could be 120. It could be 130. We don't know exactly. But if we just put the top in as around 120, you would be looking at a 786 of 38k. Like I said, it usually goes a little bit lower than that. So we'd be looking maybe at 35k. Okay. As a potential bottom in 2026. Now, this is the key point. What if we have a financial crisis? Bitcoin hasn't actually had a true macro bear market that was felt by equities. The last macro bear market in the stock market and real estate was 2008. Bitcoin was created in 2009. So we've got no data to go off. Would Bitcoin hold up in a crash, or would it dip even harder than it normally would? If it would dip even harder than it normally would, then we'd be looking probably at like a 30k Bitcoin, 25k Bitcoin. If it held up during a crash, maybe you'd only be looking at 50k. You just don't know, but I would be inclined to believe that Bitcoin would dump a lot during a crash, because it dumped a lot here during a crash in the stock market. Now, if you don't believe Bitcoin follows the stock market, that's fine. I do. I've seen the correlation. I've seen it in real time for many years, and it seems to become stronger and stronger over time, that Bitcoin kind of correlates with the Mag 7. It correlates with the tech stocks. If the tech stocks dump, Bitcoin dumps. If the tech stocks go up, Bitcoin goes up. If the tech stocks had a massive crash next year because of the fact they're really overvalued, Bitcoin will probably have a massive crash as well. So we discuss all these things in the VIP group, right? We discuss them in depth. But yeah. Anyway, guys, I really do appreciate you all tuning in on the live stream. Smash the likes if you got any bit of value, enjoyment, entertainment, whatever from the stream. And make sure you check out that VIP group. Very, very active. I showed you earlier the chat, right? Look how many people just come in and say hi, talking about the markets. Amber, lifetime VIP, says hi. People talking about, you know, the markets, AI, whether it'll pump more than gaming or layer ones. All these things are getting discussed in the chat 24/7. You can be a part of it. And the best part of the group, in my opinion, is the voice chats. We have voice chats almost every day. You can join in, talk about the markets with, you know, other like-minded people, bounce ideas across and come to a consensus, as well as getting my buy and sell alerts in real time. Appreciate you all watching the video or stream. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. And yeah, have a good one, guys. Goodbye.